Okay, well, we're going to get started. And again, I'll kind of recap what we do. And I know you probably know as much about this as I do, but as I'm sure you know, we're the largest developer of independent party stores in North America. We've been in business since 1995, done over 500 stores in that time. Our parent company has done over 3,500 stores in various retail types. We provide a 100% turnkey opportunity that includes 7 key services, and they are financing assistance, site location assistance. We negotiate your lease agreement. Then we do the complete setup of the store, including all the labor, fixtures, equipment, shelving, all the interior signage, much more. Then we provide you with very extensive training and the best merchandise network available. You'll save 20 to 25% on product each time you buy just by being a member of our network. And of course, the best long term support that you can imagine. So we provide everything that you need to get your store open. And I'll touch on each one of those very, very quickly. In finance, we have a number of different lenders that can address many different credit profiles. And the first thing we do when your application comes in is we run through our lenders and determine who might be best suited for you. And we'll have an answer typically within 48 hours as to what type of funding you can secure, how much funding, and what the terms would be for that funding. So you'll know within 48 hours if you can go forward or not and what the terms will be. And then you can make the decision as to whether you want to move over into real estate or just hold for the time being. We do have the ability, some of our lenders can actually do some credit repair. They do charge for that, but it's very, very inexpensive. In fact, we have a lender now that can actually remove bankruptcies in many cases, which is almost unheard of just a year or two ago. But, you know, things have changed with everything that's going on, and they're now able to do that. So we have different programs. We can help with SBA loans. You can borrow against retirement accounts, the hard assets of the business. And many of our lenders and other types of loans as well, many of our lenders can even provide up to 100% financing, including working capital based on your credit profile. So we've got a lot of ways to go. And I always tell people, if you think your credit score is not what you think it should be, never assume that you can't get financing, because over the years I've been here, I've seen so many people that really thought they couldn't go forward, and then they're very pleasantly surprised to find that they can, or with a little bit of work on their credit score, they certainly can. So don't ever disqualify yourself. Let's look at it and see what we can do. So once you've made the funding decision, we move you into site location, and there we assign a team to work with you, a leasing manager and a site locator, and they will get on the phone with you. They'll talk through your project and determine the areas where you would like to develop your store and the size store that you want to develop as well. Then what they will do is they will search out every location that fits those parameters. They will then delete locations that they believe for some reason are not worthy of you considering. Maybe there's a competitor too close, or we don't like the tenant mix within the center, or the asking rent is so high that we don't think we're going to get to an acceptable rent for you. But then the locations that we believe have merit, we load into a proprietary website that you will have access to. We call it Easy Track. We designed it ourselves. And you will be able to see everything there is to know about every one of the locations. A map of the shopping center, a map of where the competitors are, all the demographic information at 1, 3, and 5 miles, the population, the traffic, the household income, the ethnicity, whether the homes in the area are owned or leased, everything you could possibly want to know. And then we will ask you to go out and visit those locations and give us your feedback, because you may see things that we can't see. For example, you may go out to a shopping center and you may see that it's really not well maintained, or at night it's not well lit and you don't feel like it's a safe environment. So we need to know those things. And then the locations that you do like, we'll go ahead and start negotiating on them, and we'll negotiate on as many locations as together you and we believe have merit. Because when we get to the end of negotiations on all those spaces, we'll sit down with you and we'll kind of compare each one versus the others. and help you have all the information that you need to make the best decision regarding those locations. We'll always excuse me. We'll always give you our opinion, but the final decision, of course, is always yours. So once you decide on a location, we have the landlords draft the lease. We have your leasing manager here will review it. Each of them actually negotiates between 80 and 100 leases every year, so and all retail leases. So they're very, very experienced with what to look for. Um, we start the negotiation with a letter of intent, which includes over 17 provisions, and these are things we're asking the landlord to put in the lease for you. Uh, just a few of them, for example, would be making sure that the restroom is ADA compliant, so that you're in tune with the Americans with Disabilities Act, so your restrooms, for example, are handicapped accessible. Because if they're not, and you sign a lease, and the building inspector comes in and says, you've got to retrofit this restroom or these restrooms, that can be a $10,000 or $15,000 expense, and we want the landlord to spend that money, not you. Um, Other clauses we look for are no relocation, so that the landlord can't come to you a year into your lease and say, I'm going to move you down here because I want to lease this space to another user. We prevent that from happening, and so on. There are as I say, a great number of provisions that we negotiate into the lease to protect you. Uh, and we're very diligent about that. Good evening, welcome. We're just underway. Uh, and then, of course, once your lease is signed, we schedule your store to be set up. And during the setup process, we provide all the fixtures, all the merchandise, all the interior signage, all the labor, everything you need within your store. We send a setup supervisor to your store location. He arrives on a Sunday evening. He will meet with you, walk the space, get a set of keys from you. Monday morning, the truck carrying the fixtures and equipment arrives, and we have a crew there to unload it and start setting everything up. Typically, Monday afternoon, the merchandise starts arriving. It arrives throughout the week, and we're setting it up as it comes in. And barring anything unusual, like blizzards, which we've had some of lately, um, your store is ready to open late Friday or Saturday morning. It takes about a week to put your store together, and you're 100% ready to do business. Of course, between when your lease is signed and when we arrive on site to set up your store, we do your training, and we train um, via the internet, online, and over the phone with our trainer, which is a great situation because you can train on your schedule. We schedule the phone calls to review certain things, but we give you access to all the online modules, and you can work through them at your leisure, at your time, and then follow up with our trainer with questions you might have, and she can re-review anything that you have questions on. So when we're done, you're fully trained, and you always have access to that online training as well. So 6 months from opening, you may want to go back and revisit a topic or two. That's always there for you. Uh, for the first 30 days to 90 days after you're open, we have our trainer stay in contact with you, helping you write replacement orders, uh, tracking your sales by category so that we can help you maximize your sales in every category, helping you source merchandise that maybe your customers are asking for, and of course, getting ready for every season and holiday. Uh, in our merchandise component, we have the best suppliers within the party store industry. Um, Everybody that you can imagine, and they have all of the key items, all the licensed product, Disney, Marvel, and so on. Uh, we can also get for you in your area whatever sports licenses are most important to you. Maybe the NFL team that's in your area, or the NBA team, Major League Baseball team. And sports are coming back. Uh, Nice to see very aggressively this spring and summer. The NBA is heading towards the playoffs right now. Um, so those licenses are all available to you, and it's great to build features around. At the end of the fall, you set up end caps for NFL. We keep you appraised of all the new movies that are coming up well in advance, so you can get that product in your store. So if there's a new Paw Patrol movie coming out, or a new Marvel movie, the new Wonder Woman movie is coming out, I think, in the fall, you'll have all that product in your store well in advance. So when people start seeing those ads, they're going to walk into your store and say, wow, it's already here. So I want to plan a Wonder Woman party for my daughter. all the stuff is here. I can buy the plates, the cups, the napkins, the banners, the confetti, the gift bags, and so on. And we do that for every new movie release. And of course, you have all the other themes as well. The Over the Hill for 40, 50, and 60, and uh, summer themes for barbecue and so on, luau, and every season and holiday as well. So um, we make sure that you constantly get updates on new merchandise and new suppliers as they come online. And that goes on for the life of your business, and there's no charge for any of that. It's all part of the initial store package that you purchase because we're not a franchise, so there are no ongoing fees or royalties. You pay us one time to set up your store, and you get all that back end support for as long as you're in business. Um, and that's what I can tell you about our program. Um, any questions about that? And then I want to talk for a few minutes about our industry. But any questions about the setup program?
Yes, I do have questions.
Go right ahead.
Do you pay extra for the license for the
No,
NFL and so forth?
no. It's all in the
Okay.
price of the merchandise. There's no extra fees for that, so you can get as much of it as you want.
Now, as far as combining two ideas, two stores, of course, from party developers, is
Hmm.
that possible? I
Um,
know it hasn't been done, I don't think, but is that possible to combine two stores?
with a store that you have, like an existing store.
No, not existing store, two stores from you guys. Like if I'm interested in two different stores, but I want to combine it into one, is that
Okay.
possible?
What would be the other store? The other type of store?
The other type of store is going to be the $5 store.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
certainly do that. From our perspective, it's easily done. There's a couple different ways to go at it. One, you can do actually two stores in a space, and from the outset, here's where it gets a little tricky. If you have two distinct different brands in a store, and on the outside you sign it one way, it's hard to know what to call it to tell the story to your customers. So what I always recommend to people, say you're going to do a 2,000 square foot space, and you wanted to do
Hmm.
1,000 square feet of party and 1,000 square feet of teen or $5, whatever that might
Hmm.
be. What I would do is
Right.
suggest
Uh-huh.
to you that on the outside of the store you have two different signs. So you'll have a sign
Okay.
that says $5 teen store, whatever that might be, and then discount party store. Um, and ideally, you would have two entrances. But when people walk inside, it's just one common space. And we would differentiate it by the counters and the fixtures, the type that we use, so it would be very clear when somebody walks in. They said, "Oh, $5 over here, party's over here." I know exactly what I'm doing. But that way you can brand both stores, if that makes sense, so the customers
That makes sense.
understand what you're doing. But yeah, absolutely. The only thing we have to do is negotiate with the landlord to get those two uses, and that's really not that big a deal. So yeah, absolutely, we can do
Okay.
that for you. Good
Okay.
question.
And one last question.
Yeah,
One last question. I'm sorry on this subject.
yeah,
So as far as can you build your own standalone store as opposed to leasing?
you certainly can. Obviously, there's a lot more expense involved, but if you have a piece of
Right.
property,
And
you can
acceptance.
go with one, and you can get the financing for that. I know from our side, we can most often get financing for the store package and the working capital and so on, but we don't have lenders that can get to the level you would need to fund construction. So you'd have to do that
Right.
kind
That'll
of
be separate.
outside of us. But yeah, absolutely, it's
Okay.
not a
All
bad
right.
idea.
Okay.
And depending on where
Okay.
you are, that
Thank
could be a
you.
great advantage. You're very welcome. Thank you. Any other questions about the seven services?
Yes, I have a
What's the
question.
cost?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you open up two party stores at the same time in different locations?
Absolutely. We've done that with a couple party stores in the past. We certainly do it in our dollar store division. Sure, we would go ahead and work on both areas as separate projects. But yeah, absolutely, we can do them together.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You can start to build a brand for yourself. Any other questions about the setup portion, the seven services? Okay. What I'd like to do now for just a minute, if I can, is kind of talk about what's going on in the industry. Because, last year was I guess for all of us, it was a strange year to say the least. Um, and in some markets, some retail stores had to close. Some had to close for longer periods of time than others. I guess the good news is that's all in the rearview mirror now. That the vaccines are out there. People are getting their shots in their arms. Businesses, most states, I think pretty much all states now are open to one degree or another, at least 50%, and some more. Um, so that's a great thing. What's created some big benefit for us and for you all right now is that because of the COVID, businesses that maybe weren't that strong or were kind of on the edges of being successful, unfortunately they were forced to close and have to give up their locations, which is a sad thing certainly. But I guess the upside, if there is one, is that created many more available locations for people that are looking to get into business now. So there are great locations available. Landlords are highly motivated. I'm here in the office every day, and I work with our folks in real estate, and I'm constantly amazed at the rental rates that we're getting right now, the types of locations that are available. It's like something I've not seen in many years, and I've been here 20 years. The deals that the landlords are making to get quality tenants are unheard of just a year or two ago. So that's very positive. I was reading an article the other day that it was in the Wall Street Journal, and they said there's so much pent up consumer demand because people haven't been able to shop. They haven't been able to get out into stores. And between the early stimulus checks and the ones that are going out now, a lot of people, I guess, were in a position where they didn't need to spend that money, so they just tucked it away in their savings account. And economists estimate that there's over $1 trillion in stimulus money just sitting in people's bank accounts, and people want to get out and shop. So that demand is there. It's going to be. In fact, there was an article in one of the trade magazines this morning. It said you need to start training your employees to take care of the demand that's going to be at their front door in the next number of weeks. So, uh, again, a great time. The economy is doing very well. Unemployment's down. Consumer spending is way up. The states are opening up, as I said. So there's a lot of good things happening. Um, the other thing that's happening in our industry is over the last year, I assume that everybody's been in a party city at one time or another, so you're kind of familiar with what they look like. And what happened, actually, it started to happen going into last year. Party City recognized that their stores were much too big, and they had to put so much inventory in them that their inventory turnover was very low, and even though they look great and they're nice and full, they weren't profitable. And I know if you go into Party City, you may see 6 facings of one color of napkin and 6 facings of one color of plate. They're just trying to fill their stores. So they came to realize too late that their stores were oversized. So they're trying to renegotiate leases. They closed over 30 stores last year trying to get out of some of the bigger boxes. And financially, they were in such rough shape because of all that. They had a chain of Canadian Party City stores. They sold them all. So Party City is going to be much less of a factor than it's ever been going forward. And they're focusing their efforts, from everything I read, more on doing online sales, which is great for our stores. Because most of our people, our customers, when they come into the store, they don't shop days in advance. I'm going to have a party this weekend, and I did the same thing myself during Super Bowl. I went in on Saturday, and I needed Super Bowl stuff. And if they didn't have it, then I was out of luck, But when I went to order it online, my wife did this 2 years ago. She ordered party plates and stuff for the Super Bowl online, and when it arrived, they were out of stock on 3 or 4 of the items, but you didn't know it until your package came from Party City. So people like immediate gratification, and when they come into your store, they want to find everything. If they're doing a unicorn party for their daughter, they want to find the plates, the cups, the napkins, as I said, the banners and streamers, the confetti, the loot bags. They want the whole gamut. And people like to put on events. Uh, so it creates a large average sale for you in your store. The other thing that happened over the last year, and every article I read said it's going to be like this probably forever, is that people are getting away from having big events in public places like Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese actually closed, I think. Um, and places like that, venues like that, like Glow Zone and others, where you take your kids and they have activities and then they have a party room and you can buy your party supplies there and all that. People are walking away from that, and at-home parties and events are getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of the safety factor. So that plays right into our discount party store business, because not only can you have all the party supplies, but you can partner with people. We have the ability to help you partner with people that rent the bounce houses, for example, or you can actually buy the bounce houses. We have a program where you can actually set that up as an add-on revenue generator for your store and rent them on the weekends. It's a great thing. We have other items that are kind of unique to our store program as well. For example, we have a custom printing program, and you can either buy the equipment or lease the equipment. And what that does for you is a customer comes into your store and maybe they want to have a party for Joey, little Joey. So I'm going to get a big banner that says "Happy Birthday, Joey." And if I go to a regular sign store, I may have to wait 3 or 4 days for the thing to come back. In with this system in our stores, the customer can stand there. They can actually design the banner. They can put Joey's picture on it, or Joey's picture when he was born, and Joey's picture now that he's 29 years old, whatever that is, and custom print that banner while they're standing there, and they actually cost less than any of the print shops that you will be in your area. It's amazing. You can do it in color. You can do all different sizes. You can print it on material that will be used outside or inside. And the applications are endless. You can actually also print custom gift wrap. If you're doing a 50th anniversary party for your parents, you can print gift wrap that has their pictures the day they got married, their pictures last Tuesday, and anything in between. And just put it all in the gift wrap and print out however many sheets you need. So we try to create things all the time that are unique to our stores. The bounce house rentals is another one. Table and chair rentals, yet another one. So we try and combine all the party services under one roof, so to speak, so that people don't have to go anyplace else. And of course, the balloon business is phenomenal. And in training, we talk about how to promote your entire business. Selling balloon arches to car dealers and doing their balloons on Saturday morning for their weekend sales, and doing balloonograms with the high schools, and on and on and on. So it's a very exciting business, and it's a very exciting time to be looking at it. And there are over 36 major holidays and events throughout the year, from New Year's to Valentine's Day to Quinceanera, anniversaries, birthdays. There are birthdays, surprisingly, every day of the year is somebody's birthday. I never thought about that, but there's always an event. So that's what I can tell you about what's going on in the industry, and now I'll kind of open it up to questions again, if anyone has any.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I do actually have a question. This is Patricia. So, okay, say for example, because I know you have to have the business license, but
Yeah.
now can you open, if you already have a business, can you open it under a DBA? Like, in other words, can you have your main business and open up those two stores, like the party store and the $5 stores, under a DBA?
Okay. Do you have an LLC for your existing business?
I do.
Okay. Then yes, you can file a DBA. Normally they will ask you, it depends on the city or the county, but most often you'll have to get another business license for that new business, but you can do it under the same LLC. So like maybe
Okay, just checking.
yeah. So in other words, maybe your LLC is Latrice Enterprises, and you have a convenience store. And it's the corner spot doing Latrice doing business as the corner spot. You just file under the DBA, and now you have Latrice Enterprises doing business as Discount Party Store.
Yes, that's what I was making sure that I can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other questions? Well, okay. I would say this. We did offer I think in the email, we offered a $2,000 discount if you decide to go forward between now and next Wednesday and put your application in, and we would apply that to the price of your store when you build it. So keep that in mind. If you have more questions, certainly you can call your representative. You can always call me. My direct line here in the office, if you want to jot it down, is 702-637-3389. And I think both my,
Okay.
Did you get that?
I did not. 702.
702-637. I tend to talk fast and softly, so I apologize. 702-637-3389, and that goes right to my desk.
Okay, 3389. Okay.
I was looking to see if they put that in the text because they were supposed to, but right now I'm not seeing it, so I apologize. I don't see it. And my email is my first name, John, dot my last name, LAFRONZ, at drssmail.com. So either way you can find me. And don't hesitate if you have questions. There's a lot to digest, and there'll be more. So don't hesitate to call or email me with questions. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can.
One last thing before you get off the line. Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
Now, can you give me, because I know what the baseline credit score was the first time, and it was like a 730 or 750, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It has that baseline score changed, or is it still the same?
No, if you're about a 7 or 720, if you're not able to get financing, like I say, if the credit repair people have to get your score up by 10 or 15 points, they can do that. So I would say if you're 690 or better, you should certainly take a run at it.
Okay, because I'm at 700, but I just, a little over 700, but I wasn't sure. But
you should be fine. Like I say, if they have to do a little work to get you up 10 or 15 points, easily done. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Yes. All right. Well, I look forward to having the opportunity to work with all of you again. If you decide to go forward, and if you get your application in by next Wednesday, I can make sure that you get that $2,000 discount when we open your store. And any questions at all, as I say, give me a call or send me an email. I'm happy to get the answers back to you, or you can always call your rep. And thank you again for your time this evening. I know everybody's busy, and again, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Have a good evening.
North America's largest developer of independently owned party stores. Over 500 businesses opened since 1995. For more information, visit our website, partystoredevelopers.com.